Subtraction. And we're going to be doing a little bit bigger subtraction than what we've done so far. Just to make sure everybody's got this down here. When you have, let's write these down, 6 minus 4 equals 2. Subtraction problems have some different names, for the parts of them anyways. The answer, which we didn't go over yesterday, when you have a subtraction problem, the answer to a subtraction problem is called the difference. Just like if I asked what the difference in your and your brother or sister's ages would be, you'd subtract them, and that would be the difference. These two here, you rarely ever hear, but we'll put them down just so you have them there. You have the minuend and the subtrahend. I hope those are right. I can look and see if they actually write on here. The minuend and the subtrahend. Or maybe I should look and make sure those are right. The minuend and the subtrahend. I'm going to take a quick. Make sure I got it right, because it could be backwards. That happens to me every once in a while. The minuend and the subtrahend. I'll get a dictionary. What's that noise? Oops, I think I have them backwards. 2 feet subtract. Oh, flip those zeros around. Minuend goes down here. Subtrahend goes up here. Subtrahend is the big one. Minuend is the small one. Just change your little arrows there. Actually, I can just do this. This subtrahend, only because somebody will ask you it sometime. Somewhere along the line, yes. Some giant quiz show in the sky. Now, back in the day, we talked about a word called the algorithm. It was last week, probably. Algorithm. And we're going to talk about the subtraction algorithm, which just means how you do a longer subtraction problem. If you're given this problem here, and I can tell you I've seen 5th graders that have done these wrong and they've kind of learned some bad habits over the day. Let's just look at this problem here. 346 minus 264. 346 minus 264. If I asked you to describe the way that you do that subtraction problem, that's its algorithm, what is the first thing that you do? Parker? I'm sure this isn't the first time we've done something like this, is it?
No.
No idea? What is the first thing that you do in a subtraction problem? Grant?
Subtract this minus 4.
Yeah, which is subtract the ones. So step number 1 is subtract from the ones. So you can take 4 away from 6, so you get 2. Okay. Step number 2 then would be to subtract the tens. Now here's we run into problems because you can't take 6 away from 4. So when that happens, what has to happen there, Tyler?
You cross out the 3 and you make it be a 2 and you carry that 1.
Let's call this, we call that borrowing when necessary, if needed. And that's with any step you have to borrow if needed. Okay, but I need you to follow this pattern when you borrow, because I see people do this in the wrong order here. Just like Tyler said, the first thing, before you put anything next to that 4 or make that 4 anything new, you need to cross the 3 off and subtract 1 from it. That becomes a 2. Okay, and then this 4, you add 10 to it, so it becomes a 14. And then you can subtract 6 from 14, gives you the 8. And then you keep working your way. Step 3 would be to subtract the hundreds and so on and so on. 2 from 2 is 0, so you just have the 82. Okay. And most of you, I'm thinking most of you pretty much got a handle on that. Now where I see people go wrong more is, let me see if I can make this smaller and get it out of the way. Maybe not. Doesn't like it. There you go. Maybe I can move this here. Let's make it a little bit smaller. See if I can slide it. The problem comes more when we have numbers like this. 600, write this one down. 600 minus 1, 2, 3. And this is where I see people run into trouble. And the issue is you have to do this one step at a time, okay? Starting with the ones column, I can't take 3 from 0, so I do have to borrow. But I can't borrow from the tens place, so I have to go all the way and borrow from the hundreds place. And when I do that, just like before, I'm going to cross off the 6. And when I cross that off, I have to add 10 to the tens place, and that becomes a 10. Now I can borrow for the ones place from that 10, so it crosses off and becomes a 9, and then this one becomes a 10. And now you can take 3 from 10, that's your 7, 2 from 9 is 7, 4 from 5 is 4. For some reason, I see people writing down numbers before they borrow, and they do it in the wrong order, and then they end up with these wrong digits at the end. But if you follow the steps there, you can't really go too far wrong. Let me give you one for you. Let's do a longer one. What if it's like 7,000 minus 3,478? I'm going to let you do that one on your own, and we'll check and see if your answer matches what we get on the board when we do it. So do that for me, and I want to kind of make sure that you should not change anything. The first thing you should do is borrow from the 7. You shouldn't scratch up any zeros until you borrow from that 7. And then you keep moving your way down the line. So make sure you're all on the same page. Let's check to see if you got what I got here. Again, 8 can't be taken from 0, 7 can't be taken from 0. You have to go down here and borrow where you can't. So you gotta go all the way down here. This becomes a 6, which means you made this a 10, but you have to borrow from that 10, so it becomes a 9 to make this a 10. But you have to borrow from that 10, so that becomes a 9. And this becomes a 10. Now some people get in such a habit of changing things to 9s that they put a 9 there. I mean, I've seen all sorts of things, but that doesn't happen because you don't need to borrow from that 10. It is 8 from 10 is 2. 7 from 9 is 2. 4 from 9 is 5. And 3 from 6 is 3. 3,522. Yes? How many people got that? If you didn't get it, do you see where your error is so that it doesn't happen one more time? One more problem. How about this one?
Wait, You said 10 minus 8 is 3.
I mean, not big, no, I didn't.
Oh, I didn't see that. I thought it was 7.
4,000
Could you do like 3 million?
minus, 2,041. 4,000 minus 2,041. I'll give you 2 minutes to try that. You're done by about now. Again, you can't take 1 from 0, so you gotta come to, you can borrow. This becomes a 3. This is a 10, you have to borrow from the 10 to become a 9. This is the 10 you have to borrow from it becomes a 9. This stays the 10, 1 from 10 is 9. 4 from 9 is 5. 0 from 9 is 9. 2 from 3 is 1. 1,900.
Yes.
Anybody have any issues with that? Please make sure with all subtraction problems that you do, you always write them up and down, even if they're sideways in the book. You know, they have written in the book 86 minus 48 as a problem written sideways. You don't leave it like that, you write it as 86 minus